Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the...
All right, I'm just going to go in and jump in. I done messed up. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, February 16th, 2024, and we are with you on a Friday, not Freestyle Fridays, but we are with you closing out Black Love Week. Earlier this week, we started out with Thaddeus Miles on Monday, talked about loving yourself enough and his relationship and love of Black joy. On Tuesday, we talked with Antonia Hilton, who is a NBC correspondent and author of a new book called Madness that talked about loving yourself enough to address your mental health and being present for your family when they need you and the community when they need you. And on Wednesday, we talked with, oh my Jesus, I'm drawing a blank. Yesterday, we talked with in the morning. This is terrible. But we've been talking about, Wednesday, we talked with the Chases, Pastor Tyrone and Latrell Chase. We talked with them yesterday, on Wednesday, rather, about 26 years of marriage. And yesterday, I forgot what we talked about yesterday. So Anthony might remind me when he comes on. But listen, we're closing out Black Love Week, talking with two Black men who happen to be father and son. And we're going to talk about generational love from their perspective. And so I am in the process now of trying to get these pics queued up. That's not going the way I want them to. And so, I'll just happily just put them, put the phone up to the screen. And we're about to bring in the two folks down there on the lower, I think it would be my left or your left. And so I am presenting to some, neither one are a stranger to the Java Cafe. Pops is often in, and Anthony, you all know him. And so I would like to present to some and introduce to others, Anthony Davis Sr. and Anthony Davis Jr. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up? How's it going?
It is going well. I just got to shout Pops out because he is definitely representing with the hoodie.
Absolutely. I had to represent, Jim.
Yeah, we see some other representation going on there too, sir. Not the one in the back. The one in the back is cool. Shout out to Coach AD, but it's Anthony. Don't do it. I see that face. What's with the representation on your head, sir?
Oh, the DMV, the Washington National. So I got Boston, like you said earlier, Boston in my heart, but DMV. You know what I mean? I'm representing from the DMV live, and so. Just always now I got a shared geographical love, I guess, right?
There you go.
You better do it, Pops. And so I'll start with you. First of all, for folks, they see you, in the comments, but please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And we know Anthony, but I call Pops and Anthony. So we're good. Pops, please introduce yourself and say hello to the folks.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Java fam. Anthony Davis Sr., born and raised in the DMV in Washington, D.C. I'm a youthful 63 years old. You mentioned the longevity of marriage. My wife Lisa, Anthony's mom, and I have been married for 30 years. We have another daughter, Courtney, and we have 5 magnificent, beautiful grandchildren that we just love and adore. I don't know I want to make sure I share the time so I could go on and on.
I was
You,
going to say, you asked the open-ended question. You know what you might have got yourself into.
don't do pops like that. But no, pops, tell us a little bit. Like you have the logo back there. You're also a coach as far as with basketball, but you do some life coaching and coaching of young people, maybe out of that. So tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, a couple years ago, Jimmy, I got certified through John Maxwell Certified Leadership Team as a speaker, trainer, and coach. I've been a basketball coach for over 20 years, and it just seemed like during COVID that would be a natural pivot. I was, discouraged and dissatisfied with, kind of my station in life in terms of vocation.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that coaching is something that I'm naturally gifted at. And so in terms of encouraging and pushing people to really achieve their God-given best and their God-given purpose and talents. And so that's my, at Coach AD Trains. You can find me on socials. But I do coaching, speaking, training, so forth and so on. And so, yes.
Absolutely, Pops. Thank you. So now the Java fam, you have gotten to see Pops and meet him virtually. And so Anthony, I'm going to throw you a dinger, and they know who you are. And so I'm going to ask you to describe your dad.
Ooh.
You can get me after.
Describe my dad. I mean, wow, that's a loaded question. To me, role model, leader, man of God. I should probably probably should have been number one. A great husband, a great father, and like I said, a great role model. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
So I'm going to go ahead and be honest and observe. Mother's in the room. Hey, mother. Good to see you here. Pops.
Hey, mama.
He said, "Is this all the parents?" Go ahead, Pops.
Tissue. I'm sorry. I mean, I should grab my tissue as well.
This is going to be interesting because I have to observe. I've been in plenty of meetings and spaces with Anthony, and I've never seen his body language go like that. But I really, I'm going to challenge you to go. You gave me his station, as he referred to, and status in life, but to you, describe who he is to you, Anthony.
I mean, since a child, I've always looked up to my father. I feel like I, in one way or other, have strived to, I think, be like him in ways, but then also he's pushed me to be better than him in ways, and I think that I appreciate that. I think one of the things that I'm so appreciative of just in our relationship is how close we are. A lot of my friends don't necessarily have I'm not going to say even a relationship, but just the relationship that my father and I have. They may have some type of relationship, but we are very close, and he was very intentional about that. And I think that's the one thing that is very, very beautiful about our relationship. He didn't necessarily see that growing up. He didn't necessarily have that model. And so to me, he's like a superhero, because it's like he not only was there for me and made me like into the man that I am, that the man that I feel like a lot of, and my mother as well, I got to make sure I give my mom a shout out, but, made me the man that I am. And I feel like a lot of people have both benefited as a result of that. And so I feel like he, is a kingmaker.
Ooh, okay. Pops, describe, and I'm going to challenge you, and I got to jump right in because we all going to need tissue. Describe Anthony, not so much as now, but how was Anthony growing up as a child? How was he as a young man?
Wow. So as Anthony was speaking, I thought about a post I posted yesterday with the graphic for today. And I placed in there, the lyrics from the verse, right? He is the wing beneath my wings. I prayed for this son at the age of 13, realizing that I was the last male child in my family. And without any prompting by my father or my grandfather, I prayed to God, even though I wasn't even walking with God, that at the appropriate time, that I would have a male child, a son. And I hope help cut me off, man, because this story.
No, go. You good.
When my wife was expecting, when Lisa was expecting, they said, well, do you want to know the gender? And we were like, no, we don't want to know the gender. It's going to be what it is. And then a little bit further along, she had some difficulty during her delivery. And I said to her, I said, babe, no matter what the child is, I'm not going to put you through this again. And when the doctor said it's a boy, because they had me on the other side of the little petition, I was right there with her, holding her hand. But when they said it was a boy, I often say that Anthony was God's answer to my prayer. As a young man, as a young boy, and I was thinking about this morning, he was always mindful at a very young age. Like all of our family, like my family, extended family, live in other parts of the country. But Anthony, at a very, very young age, was very mindful of family, very respectful of family, and made the intention to be connected with family, even though geographically we were separated. But we always maintained close ties. So I don't know. I hope that answered your question.
It did and more, Pops. It really did and more. And thank you for Mother said if boy definitely did not come out. Mother. Pops referred to the fact, at 13 he wasn't walking with God. We pray he was walking with God then. And no, but Pops, thank you for being transparent and highlighting that he was you were the first one to be gifted, the gift of Anthony. Well, actually, no, Mother, with all due respect, Lisa was as well. And so, Anthony, I want to ask you another question because I'm aware and I observed the nurturing relationship, and you named that Pops was intentional about that. We, men often in relationships with father and sons or fathers and daughters or fathers, period, they often are busy working, or as you alluded to, Pops not maybe having that example before him. Sometimes it's I'm working, I pay the bills, I make sure you got clothes on your back and food. How important was it for you to have the intentionality of your father loving on you? What role did that play in your life?
I mean, I think it made me want to, I feel like, honor like my mother and my father. Like it made me want to make sure that I both like in the current lived up to like what they were asking me to be and to do, but then in the future also like surpassing that as much as I could. I felt like like I said, like my father was intentional. Like growing up I can remember 3-4 years old, like going to the gym with him, when he was going and playing with his buddies when he was in his 30s, like, and just playing against, playing ball, pickup ball, and just being in the gym with him. It was just like, like that's my dad. Like, and then like growing up, like that transformed from, being in, being watching him hoop to him becoming my coach, him working at schools that I went to. And I feel like, as I've been kind of, my 30th birthday is approaching this coming Wednesday. I figure we would touch on that eventually, so I'll go ahead and instill that. But but as I've been kind of approaching that, I've been really reflective, and one of the things that I've really been thinking about is just how he kind of went out of his way to do things that made it so that he could be there and present in my life, like coaching me in AAU basketball. Like he didn't get paid a dime for that, but like all summer, like we're traveling, like we're together, like and there's I remember like so many of my like teammates like looking up to my father as a father figure. And a lot of times like I feel like I've seen, or like you see movies or things like where kids like they get jealous of that. But I feel like I admired that so much more about my father. And like that was because we were able to spend so much time together. So it wasn't like I was ever like jealous of, oh, like all these kids are getting so much time from my father. I knew he had so much to give that I knew that they could benefit from it as well. And so even from like from an early age, like I had that realization. And so like being with him was just like also being able to see in real time like what a man is supposed to be like for his family, but then also for his community. And so that was it showed me a lot.
I want to ask you one question. We'll come back to Pops. Is do you think you would be the man that you are today without your dad? A lot of us, as you mentioned, grow up in single homes. And some would say that this, Jimmy, come on, like that's a given. Maybe no, but no, we got to give credit to our single mothers that
Yeah.
are rearing, great children. And so let me ask you that. Do you think you would be the man that you are, the character that you possess, the integrity that you possess, if your dad was not involved?
Nah. I laugh when you as you were
No,
asking that
no.
question. Like,
Hey, hey.
it's not no way. I like I said, I learned so much just from watching him and being around him. So I don't feel like I, like as a child, like I was a sponge, and so I'm a learner, and so like I was soaking up with everything that he showed me, and so from like again how he treated my mom, how he treated our family, me and my sister, how he showed up for his community, whether that be like at our church or like for like I said, coaching like in the community, like everything that he did like was of high character, high value, and so like to me it was just like that's a model to follow. And so I absolutely wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for him. For the
I,
good and probably some of the bad, a little bit of the bad too. I
I looked at
had to
look.
take a dig.
I looked at one of the pictures. I said, "Okay, pops back in the day. Look at Pops.
He was smooth. He was a
That's
smooth
it, man.
operator.
All right, G. All right, G. So, Pops, let me ask you. You mentioned the geographical separation sometimes with you and Anthony. When Anthony made the decision to settle in Boston, how did you respond? How did you respond to that? I seen that. I seen the smile. How did you respond to that?
Well, I had practice, Jimmy. Anthony went away. He went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, and so that Morehouse in the house. But that was really my excuse the expression, pop my cherry, because I had to get used to my son being away because he was such we like when you saw one of us, you saw the other one, right? And I often tell this story, like I have a bad habit of not remembering names. And Anthony would be with me and he would see me, he could sense almost that I was struggling with somebody's name. And he would just kind of edge his way over just close enough so I could hear him, nobody else could hear him. And he would say such and such and such and such. Like he would tell me the and I'm like, and intuitively, right? And again, at a very young age. So, this guy got some gifts and talents. I think he gets it from his mom. His mom was a who's who in high school. And so I always attribute Anthony's intelligence to his mother and not so much myself. But
I wanted to also ask Pops, how important is it in your situation? There was intentionality, relationship, you were married with your wife. Can I ask you to speak to, and I'm sure in your years of coaching basketball and then coaching brothers, you've dealt with single dads who often both sides of the coin may own that they may have some behavior may have caused some issue with them and the mother of their child. What would you say to them about striving for the intentionality that you have with Anthony? What encouragement would you give to single dads who are striving to be what you have and are to Anthony?
that's a deep question and one that
Mm.
I had not been asked previously. But I would say from an encouragement standpoint is one, realize that your son needs you, no matter what necessarily that you have to offer, whether it's financially, support, whatever it is that, your time is more important than anything that you can offer. And Anthony, basically alluded to that earlier, and his response was that, I didn't have a whole lot of money, but I did, have time. And the fact that we spend so much time together, and again, intentionality, because my dad, like you said, Jimmy, earlier, my dad worked. He worked 2 jobs. And so he was either working or sleeping. And that was it. And so in terms of relationship, there really was very little. And I don't say that begrudgingly. At least my father was present.
Yes,
he was
sir.
a great provider. But there was not much in the way of relationship. And so again, when you talk about intentionality, that's the intentionality. That experience led me to say that when my relationship with my son is going to be different, not better, just different.
Yes, sir.
And so to those fathers out there, those single fathers especially, again, man, your time, your wisdom, no matter what, where you are in life, setbacks, whatever the case may be, you have the world to offer to your son.
Thank you, Pops. I want to ask you sort of a different question. Name one time where you had to come down on Anthony and he got in trouble.
Oh God. I honestly, Jimmy, not many. Again, I was thinking before the show, I had a lot of time because I was up early. So I was like, but probably one time Anthony talked about being in the gym. And I remember this episode. Anthony, I don't know if you remember this. We were at Washington.
I remember exactly where you're going.
Right? And I think Anthony was probably like 12 or 13. And we were in the gym and we were working out. We say, "Hey, let's go to the gym, let's work out." And so, we working out, we doing the thing. And then I was like, "Do this." And then he kind of halfway went through it. That's not the word I really want to use.
Yeah, that's not what he want to say.
Say what you want to say, Pops.
It's 12 p.m.
So he wasn't going full speed, right? So I was like, "Dude, come on, man, push yourself. Let's go, let's go." And he said his response, Jimmy, was, "You do it." And I'm like, I think I was like 50-something years old. However old I was like, "Look, my playing days are over. I don't play basketball anymore." And I said, "Since you got such an attitude, pack your stuff and let's go home." And that's what we did.
Now, knowing how Pops is, he would never have to put a hand on me. He would never have to, for him to say something like that. Anthony, how old were you? What did you do?
I packed my stuff and we left.
Because for him to take that,
and it was a quiet car ride home.
Did you ever tell him to do it again?
Nah.
I said we were going to have tears, but now they're going to be for a different reason. Oh man! So Pop, that was the only thing that comes to mind. I'm fishing and digging. No, I'm missing.
I saw Austin. Somebody said you getting messy, Jimmy. So I know you.
Just a little bit. Just a little. Oh, there go Aaron. And we
I
got
don't remember.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't remember ever I got whooped, but those were early. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got nothing to lie about. But that was early, but it wasn't often. But I remember those type of episodes more than anything because that was dang, my dad is he's mad at me
Yeah,
because it's rare. It was rare to see him like that. You messed up. That was really it. And for me, that another thing I feel like for just in terms of this being a good father and a good role model, I don't feel like I ever got in trouble where I didn't know why I was in trouble. A lot of kids get yelled at and it's misdirected anger because their parents are dealing with other things. But I don't feel like as a child I was ever getting when I got yelled at, I knew I was getting yelled at and it was justified, or I knew why I was getting in trouble or punished. And so I feel like that's another it's a good parenting tip that I feel like I picked up along the way as well.
Anthony, we've talked a lot about the parenting and you've picked up a lot from him. You've mentioned it a little bit, but I just talked to the president of RCC and I mentioned you all. Aaron might get me for when I say, but she said, "Is that the couple with the little girl from Roxbury?" And they know who you are. People know
She's
the
not even from
Davises
Roxbury. The little
are.
girl part is already bad enough, but she's not even from Roxbury. So I'm looking at, I can see her around the corner. I'm trying to see her reaction when she hear this.
If this was well, we can't go back and edit now, Lord Jesus. So what I'm going to say is, a lot of people see you all as a young couple and successful couple, and a very loving couple. The way that you all tell Erin she can come and say hi if she wants to, if she can't already. We
Yeah,
got to
that
give
camera
grace.
ready.
We got to give grace to Jackie Jenkins Scott, but anyway, my point is, in the husbandry, if you will, talk about the example that Pop stepped before you. I'm gonna be real. Like, talk about where times you may want to do things. Okay, you may say to yourself, "You do it," like you said to Pops in your way. Is there a time or a memory that's come from a husband perspective where you've drawn from what you've seen from your dad?
So I want to actually like take it back another generation actually. So I've been, I've been in therapy last couple months. I started back in December. Um, so thank you all. So I'm proud of that. It's been really like helping me like really think a lot about my life and just like my childhood, and it's been good. Like especially as I'm going into my birthday. But one of the things that I remember is that the men in my family, Davis men particularly, have shown up. I think the men in my family as a whole have shown up for their women in ways that like are immeasurable, and sometimes like in ways that are unexpected. And so I think why I say take it back a generation is because my grandfather, my father's father, I was actually talking to my therapist about this the other day, is I just remember that when my grandmother got sick, she had Alzheimer's. And dad, I was very young at this time, but this is my recollection. But just remembering kind of like how he at the time, like he was there, like how he was there for her. Like he was there at the nursing home with her once she had to go into a nursing home. He was there to take care of her. He was there to visit her, um, to the point where he was there so much and kind of driving himself so much at a kind of older age that he got sick. Um, and he actually ended up passing before her. And to me, like that is like as a child, I didn't really like absorb it as like, dang, like my grandfather was there for my grandmother. It was more like, dang, like that's kind of messed up. Like she was sick and he was he was still kind of moving, grooving, and like but he was there for her, and like he ended, it warmed down. Um, but I say that because I've watched my dad do the same exact thing for my mother.
Yep.
And like for me, it's like even before my mother has been dealing with her condition, and she has MS. He was there for her. He was there for our family, and in ways that, like he said, like it wasn't necessarily financial or monetary, but it was what we needed. It was always what we needed. And so like to me, it was just like to see that model is just like as a husband, like, and also like there's a lot of other things that could have happened like in both of their situation, both my grandfather and my father's situation, where it's like they could have left, they could have put their wives into a in a hospital or a nursing home and said like I'll come visit you when I can, but like they were there. And to me it's like whatever, whenever, like however, like I'm gonna be there for my wife. And I ain't going nowhere. And I tell her that all the time, like I ain't going nowhere. To me, like that's what I've seen, like through the good, the bad, like you're there. And I feel like an amazing lesson as a husband.
Pops, two things I want to mention. One, I would be remiss if I didn't allow you the opportunity to respond to what Anthony said, and then I have a question for you. And before you do that, I want to interject. Um, I've seen Pops tend to Miss Lisa, mother. I've seen him tend to her and take care of her with my own eyes. And it is definitely remarkable. And so, Pops, salute to you because it Anthony is right with love there and whatnot. And I know of situations where things of like that have happened and spouses have not had the wherewithal. I won't say they haven't had the love, they just in themselves could not. And so we have to celebrate you as a husband, as a father, as a black man, as a human being, for standing by your wife because you did. Those folks have taken vows. Everybody, you know. So, Pops, I have to let you respond, sir.
Wow. I was sharing with a coworker just this week, a couple days ago, the fact that two of the most important women in my life have both been have dealt with chronic illness. As Anthony mentioned, my mom Alzheimer's. My mom often say from diagnosis to death. My mom lived with Alzheimer's for about 11 years. Which is not common based on my experience. Like most people don't live that long with that particular diagnosis. But from diagnosis to death, 11 years. And so I watched my mom go from a vibrant, God-fearing, world-traveling, loving mother, wife, to just a shell of the person that I knew my whole life. And now, my wife, dealing with not the same condition, but similar in ways. And it's, I'm gonna say this, Lisa says to me, I think she stopped now, but she was like, "You didn't sign up for this." And I said, "Babe, yes, I did. I was made for this. I was built for this." And I say, and Jimmy, I know you're a God-fearing man as well. The pastor says typically, right, these vows are not to be entered into lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a covenant. Mm-hmm. And I understand covenant, what it means to make a covenant before God, before our parents, before our family, before our friends on September 11th, 1993. And I was determined that it was going to be forever because there were so many of my peers and family members that had gotten married and divorced, but I never saw my parents didn't get divorced. Lisa's parents didn't get divorced. That wasn't, that was just not an option. And so I'm gonna stop with this, Jimmy, if that's okay, is the fact that, from time to time, people say to me, man, you're this, you're that. That's what a wonderful thing. And I'm like, really? Like I it's a compliment, I know, but it's like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So for that, I don't deserve any kudos. I don't strive or live for that. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Is it easy? No. And I just pray, and y'all audience, Java fan, pray, right? That I can continue to be faithful and show up every day, day in, day out. And I just appreciate this opportunity, man. Thank you for that question.
I on both of you. I was sitting up here talking trash, and I'm bad, and I did good. I beat him back. It is just, we're talking about Black love, and we're focusing on generational father and son, but we got two Black men sitting in front of us that are honorable to their wives, that place God, community, and family before themselves. And so I just have to name that in addition to Black love and generational and father and son from a Black men, Black History Month, all the time, every day, that we got two positive, impactful brothers before us with great character and integrity. And it just, our young people need to see more of this and examples, because I grew up seeing my grandparents, what you are to what you all are to your wives. I grew up seeing my grandfather doing that, and a couple of other couples that do that. Tyrone, who we had on this week, does that as well. But generally speaking, I think from a societal standpoint, I don't know if with naming, we are in a progressive society, but those who ascribe to traditional heterosexual marriage, we don't, I don't think we see as much emphasis. We see the weddings, we see the pictures in the post, but I don't know if there's as much focus and raising of successful marriages like y'all's. Anthony, I'll let you respond first.
That's good. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I feel like there's so much emphasis on the day, but it's like what happens after that day. And I feel like, you know, it's easy, I feel like, to get caught up. I feel like, Aaron and I, we had an elaborate day. We had a good day.
Oh, y'all did have it. Y'all did have it. You don't take away from the day, Jesus.
Uh, but I feel like our parents have absolutely, like, they pushed us to both, my parents, but also Aaron's parents have, they've pushed us to make sure that we're investing in our marriage beyond that, and that we are, staying faithful to each other. And it's hard. I think marriage is, I feel like, one of the things that, like, people make it look easy and it looks good on social media, but it's like it's a thing you got to do every single day. And it's like it's a choice every single day, but it's every single day, I choose my wife. And I feel like that's the thing that I feel like I've seen and I learned from my father. And I feel like, Erin has made me she's made me a better man. And I feel like, my dad, I've heard him say that about my mother a lot. And I feel like that's the key of it all. Like, I've been in relationships where it was like, I saw the worst of myself in those situations, both, personally, professionally. Like, it's bad when your career, you with the wrong person when your career is going bad. When you was up and up at a time, but now everything's going bad. And so, like, every single day, like, it's proven to me, it's shown to me that she's the person, and so it's worth the work.
One of your other adoptees, Pops, one of your other adopteds is in the building. Hey, Tom. And so, Pops, would you respond to that as far as my observation that traditional marriage, for various reasons, and me even saying the progressive, there's some implications in that. But for those who ascribe to and celebrate it, Black love in the form of what both of you are growing and nurturing. What is your response based on what I said right before, Anthony?
First and foremost, Jimmy, I think I want to acknowledge that there are couples, there are married people that are out here doing it the right way.
That's right.
I think that, people that struggle, maybe, I don't know, I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I do pay attention. And I think that there's a lack of sacrifice, a lot of, some selfishness and things of that nature that, in the world, the world kind of ascribes to that, right? It's all about me, myself, and I. And no matter what, right? I got to get mine. And they carry that, and that could be that mindset could be carried over from, from the vocational aspect, the educate, you want to do that, you striving, and you're trying to get yours. But then once you get married, then now it's a point of surrender. I think that's the appropriate word. It's surrender, because it's not all about me. It's not all about me. And so again, I would just encourage those, right? Keep fighting, man. It's worth fighting for. There's a gospel song that says it's worth fighting. It's worth fighting for, man. It's worth fighting for. I've been in other relationships throughout my life, over the course of my youth and stuff like that. And it's like, I was just always, again, just committed to being, once I find somebody that I would want to marry, ask to marry me, I'm going to do everything within my, God-given ability to make sure that is sustained over time.
There's there's really so much more that is coming and came out of this conversation than just the, and not just, but the generational love and love between the father and son. The overall theme is Black love. And I think that in our society, we need to see it all. We have a child and parent. We have two Black men. We have two married men. And so there's different elements that we're seeing in real time of the dynamics of Black love. Both of your wives are in here celebrating and loving on you. Aaron almost got me with this one. I was like, oh, I choose you every. I mean, this is this just, and then mother is in joking about y'all took her out to the court even though she had on 3-inch heels. So it just, we need to see more of this. Pops, thank you for, as much as I named that a lot of attention is brought to negative and maybe we don't see as much observation of celebration of this, but thank you for naming that there's a lot more of this than there is the other, and we need to bring more attention to this. Yeah. Well, I'm usually at about 3 so if you get about 4 or 5, that y'all this more of our community needs to hear and see more of this. More of our young men and young women need to see this, what it's like to have a contributing father, an example, of a positive man, and before them, because our sisters, Aaron, well, I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Aaron was able to see, because of what the rearing was. She saw the character in Anthony that came, from you. And so that made, I was getting, oh Jesus. When Anthony caught her eye, that made it a little bit easier. Did I get out of that? Did I get out of that good?
I think so.
Hold on. All right. We're a teeny bit over, but close to what I had in mind as far as time. But closing out, tell him ask for the Lisa and Aaron prayer instead.
Instead of the Sierra prayer.
You know what? I'm not messing with y'all. Aaron, you better go ahead and write something about that Lisa and Aaron prayer. I want to give both of you an opportunity to speak to one another before we close out. And then we'll get ready to wrap up. Pops, at some point when y'all are back up this way, I would love to maybe have you and Mother and the Davises, because the Chases came on Wednesday, and I can't tell y'all how many people want more of the conversation between couples. They want that. And so we got to figure it out. And I would love to figure out how to do it in person and then have everybody be able to meet Mother as well. And so what I will do is have Anthony, if you could speak to your dad, and then Pops will have you close out and speak to Anthony.
Yeah, I feel like we tried to we've done this in a few different settings. Like I feel like my dad, he had a show on Facebook Live a few years ago where I joined, and we had a good conversation one-on-one. And we tried to start a podcast a few years ago. We did a couple episodes together, but where we were interviewing folks. But this has been, I feel like, one of the best conversations I feel like I've, been able to have, just because, you're here, you're facilitating it, you're asking us questions, as real said in the chat, like you came with you was prepared. You had a few questions written down today. This wasn't just Jimmy going out the
low key. Anthony and Aaron going to be proud of me, but I'm gonna be real. No, I didn't.
Well, no, but this was great. To my dad, I feel like I've said a lot here, but I'm thankful for you. I feel like I've learned so much from you. You don't know how much in my day-to-day life that I think about, like, how would you deal with a situation, even though I may not always call. I feel like it's been 30 years. You've given me a lot to go back to recall, to think back on, and been there every step of the way. And so I'm thankful for that. I know that like I was on the plane, so I'm in Phoenix today to celebrate my birthday for the weekend. I was on a plane yesterday, and I was sitting next to a woman, and she was telling me, she was like, I don't get to see my kids that often. They don't even try to see me, blah blah. And I was like, yeah, it gets harder as you get older. And I was like, but she was like, they don't even call or anything. And I was like, at least once a week we do church together as a family. Virtually over Zoom. And my father was intentional about setting that up and kind of making that an opportunity for us to at least check in once a week. We watch the sermon, we don't just watch it, but then we discuss afterwards. We discuss the word, and then we talk about just like what's going on, what you got going on this week. How can I pray for you? And we do that. It started with just kind of our family, our immediate family, and now Aaron's there, Aaron's mother's there. We have other family members who join from time to time. And so it's just like, it's become a family check-in space that, again, my father was intentional about creating. And so just thankful for just the time. But back to the story that I was telling. So to the woman, I was like, we have this hour a week that we at least check in. But then at least like, once, I feel like it's almost once a quarter, I'm figuring out some type of way to get to DC.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you're such a good son. You're just such an amazing son, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, to me, it's just like, I wish I could do more. I get busy. I get caught up in the hustle and bustle and, everything I got going on in Boston, running a business, starting a family. But it's like, I feel like, I've stayed true to who he raised me to be. What I saw him being, like what he said about our family being spread out, but like we made trips to Ohio once a summer. We went to West Virginia to see family. Like we went to Florida to go see our family. And so like, staying true to who I was raised to be, who I saw. And so I'm just thankful for you. I love you. And just thank you.
Pops. But before Pop stopped, now Anthony, words. I pay attention to everything. Start business and and then you said starting a family. Are you making an announcement?
No, me and my wife. That's my family right now.
They keep trying to push each other.
Aaron is gonna. Aaron, I started the text and I said,
now you're gonna get in trouble.
Look, y'all out of town. I'm good for a couple of days. It'll wear off, Jesus. Well, look. Anissa got Aaron's back.
Pops. She is typing. I can see her typing. Who is she typing?
She banging on the keys.
Ooh, this got hot in here, Jesus. Okay, here. There go mother. He did say. Honest, like I'm an only child. All right, so Pops, let's pull this in before y'all don't see me anymore. Oh God, it's hot. Pops, to Anthony.
Just real quick, man. I want to, if it's okay, I just want to say, man, kudos to you, to this platform. I know I saw your post yesterday where you're coming up on 4 years. I try to think back and like, when did I first engage with you? And I can't really recall, but it's just, you've been a blessing to me.
No, hold on. Let me tell you when your first engagement was.
Okay.
Anthony was on here as a guest, and you found, I was going to say, with all due respect, you found your happy self in the comments. That's how we engaged. So,
okay, all right. So
you came in supporting your son.
Amen.
That
But again, just want to shout you out, man, for your diligence in this, because the longevity and just what you're doing is you're an asset to the community there in the Boston area, throughout Boston and beyond. I'm here in the DMV, man, and I tune in when I can, and I'm paying attention, brother. And you have been an example. You have been a mentor to me, right? And so I just want to applaud you, as well as the Java fan, for everybody that tunes in on a consistent, regular basis, man. Shout out to you guys. keep supporting Jimmy and his effort and what he's doing. And so to your question,
Yes, sir.
it's not a whole lot I can add to what Anthony and what's already been said here today. But Anthony, you know I love you, and so to me, yeah, that's I ain't gonna say easier said than done. It's like words, words do matter, Jimmy, but sometimes words seem for me insufficient.
Sure.
Right? They don't seem adequate enough to really convey the real feeling. Because again, my son Anthony Davis Jr. was an answer to prayer, and from the moment he was born, again, ups, downs, twists and turns. He has been the wind beneath my wings. I admire you. I applaud you. And I say now, we're father and son, right? There's going to always be that split, I guess, for lack of a better descriptor. But the reality is that Anthony and my relationship now is more a friend. We have conversations, deep conversations. Anthony mentioned been going to counseling. I started going to counseling just a few weeks ago because I realized the necessity of just, we take our cars for tune-up. We need personal tune-ups also. That's
That was an extra nugget. Come on, Pops.
Again, just man, and Aaron, if you can hear me, Aaron, I thank God for you, and you know that as well. You are, you're Anthony's rib, right? You're Anthony's rib, and God could not have placed a better woman, help me in my son and our son's lives, because I don't want to forget Lisa, in our son's life. And so we just, again, we love you, we admire you, we praise you, we pray for you on a regular, daily basis. And we, just want to see your continued success. You're touching lives all over the country, if not the world. And if not the world, the world is still to come. And just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing, stay faithful, and God's gonna light your path.
This has been really amazing, and I know when folks go in the after watch that it's going to be on Black History Month, Valentine's Day, and whatnot. We need Black love every day. And the celebration of it, because there's just so much hate generally for Black folks, Black women, Black men, Black love, Black community. And so anytime where we can propagate love in here, more of it, let's do it. Anthony, I know there's something else you wanted to share before we go. I just wanted to acknowledge someone said, please share her info. And so, Cora, if you can let us know whose info you need. I don't know, Aaron, if they looking for that prayer. Jabaz had a prayer. Jabaz had a prayer. Aaron can have a prayer. Aaron and Lisa can have a prayer too. Y'all better put that thing together. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first. No, sir. No, sir. So Cora, if you could let us know, and then Anthony, what did you want to share?
No, this is more of a funny story to kind of leave on. So I didn't get to share a story when I gotten kind of
in trouble.
I know you
wanted to. Okay.
reprimanded. But so I was in middle school, and the church that we went to, there was an academy that was also, we had a school that was basically attached to our church. And so my father was the athletic director at our school, and I'm trying to decide which story I want to tell. Oh God. So one's quick. So I'm gonna tell this one was quick. So one time I got called into like the headmaster's office because they were doing like a sweep of, I don't know if he gonna even remember this. They were doing like a sweep of like our like MySpace pages. And we were like 11, 12 years old. We shouldn't have had MySpace pages. And I just remember like having to be in the room with my father while they talking about yeah, why you got Lollipop by Lil Wayne on your profile when you when you go? And I was so embarrassed. But I did not get into a lot of trouble. I did not get in trouble that time. But another time was, all right. So I was in study hall, and it was a quiet study hall, and I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna see if he remembers this one. And I was sitting at a table with some of my teammates at the time. We supposed to be quiet, but of course, we joking around, we laughing, so we keep getting in trouble, we keep getting reprimanded. But then when they tell us to be quiet, I do listen. Like I was raised to listen and obey, authority. But one of my teammates decided that they wanted to talk. And so once he decided to talk, I was accused of being the one who talked. And again, at my Christian school, I went back. I kind of went back and forth with the teacher, and then she said, "Okay, like you're about to get kind of a demerit." Was our disciplinary kind of thing. You had to earn a certain demerits, and then you get disciplined. So you're about to get a demerit. And so I stood up, I slammed the table, and I said, "That's bull us."
You?
Yes, I did. And my team is if they're in the comments, they'll be like, "Oh no, we've seen that. We've seen him before like that." But and they sent me to the office. I got suspended from school. And you don't remember me getting suspended? I got suspended. This is the only time I ever got suspended from school. And he took off for the day. That's the thing that I can't remember. That's why I'm so surprised he can't remember it. He took off for the day. And I tell you, I had to read so many Bible verses about obeying authority, respecting your mother, honor your mother and father. And one, I knew like I was never going to get suspended again because I didn't want to have to do that. But it's just another story about another good story about my father and just like his intentionality. Like even in times where it was like, I was wilding, I was acting up in ways. He was still trying to figure out like how do I like make him better versus just like how do we discipline him? How do I make him a better man as a result of this? So I just thought that was a good kind of like funny story to also illuminate that point.
It was definitely funny, but I just knowing Anthony, you never what's your shout out to the team. I hope I never have to be in an arena unless he's advocating for Java. But it's just not from what I see of your character. And then suspended. Like Anthony, you're the brother that, and you hear my heart when I say this. You're the brother that you never we know that there's AJ. But just you and suspension, I'm no cap. I'm just like, I would
have go together.
It doesn't. They're supposed to go like here, and then they keep missing each other. Okay. Well, I learned a little something about Mr. Davis Jr. today. Okay. Listen, we are, oh God, UCB. Y'all get 90 minutes because it's 101. We're a little bit over time, but it was well worth it. We heard Black joy, we heard Black love from many different aspects. 2 Black men, a father and son, married men, and men that love their community and love God. Let's not forget that. And so I appreciate both of you all. I'm looking forward next time y'all are this way to having like the 3 couples, the Davises, the Chases, and the other Davises. I don't know which one's going to be the other. The Davises seniors and the Davises juniors. We'll say the Davis family and the Chases. We'll figure it out. But thank you all for being here with me today. I want to go pay a couple of bills. And Olby is in. Great example of a father and son relationship. And so thank both of you. And I will be in touch. Anthony, I won't. There's nothing time. I won't bother you this weekend since you're away. And Pops, I just turned off the group chat.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was about to say, let me put the group chat. Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, I'm
not gonna do that.
But no, enjoy your time. Give the missus my best. And Pops, give Mother my best as well, even though she's watching. And salute to both of you. I love and appreciate both of you. You know what, Anthony? Now we're trying to leave here.
That's just wrong.
That's y'all little private pool thingy.
Yeah, that's our backyard. I got a little putting green over there. About to About to have a good time out here.
Is that Aaron laughing in the background doing one of your noises? Anthony has this thing, Pops, and you know it better than us. You can be in a meeting, in a room, on a call, on a Zoom, and somebody will say something, and nobody will say anything. It's either funny, bad, or something, and all you'll hear is this little Anthony with his.
I got that from him, I think, actually.
Oh, let me find out. But listen, I really appreciate both of you. Anthony, go enjoy. Anthony Jr., go enjoy your putting in your backyard there. I got to get to Miami. And then Pops, I look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you so much. And thank you for the support. At some point, if you can, have Mother take a picture and send a picture to us so we can put that on the website. Just take off the hat though. And then no, so Anthony represents up here well, y'all. Anthony's adopted in Boston, but he still, you know, we got to work on him for the self.
Well, I love you both, man. I love you both.
I love you too,
Love you
Pop.
too, Pops.
I'm going to go pay some bills. Thank you.
Love you, Jimmy. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. You too.
Peace.
Folks, this was, I mean, seeing both of these brothers, like, totally different from what I expected. Lord have mercy, Jesus. AJ, I need to come to you for Airbnb Rex, because what did you see? Listen, no, don't go to Anthony, go to Aaron. No disrespect, Anthony. Listen, because it's his birthday, so you know she probably took him and surprised him and did it. That is dope. Yeah, I need that info. Let me see. Phoenix, Arizona, Denver, Colorado. We'll figure it out. I need to get to Colorado. Thank all of you for being here today. Listen, I want to thank everyone that came on last night. The afterwatch is going up as well. So real hit Erin. She got that. She's excuse me. She's the plug for the Airbnb. Thank everyone that came in last night and watched our show with Eversource. Got a lot of good feedback. The afterwatch numbers are going up. We got a lot of great unexpected information from the representative last night. So thank all of you that were there. I believe we are slated for a special Java with Jimmy. We're kicking off Black Media Week next week. And so we have a couple of folks coming in. Don't forget, on Wednesday, I will be at GBH talking about lifting Black voices with Richie Cadet, Kristen Halbert, and also Dr. Rufus Falk. But on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday next week, we have Janae Alsterhold, who will be with us from the Boston Globe and A Beautiful Resistance. But on Sunday evening, we're slated to speak with a editor out of Los Angeles is going to come with and speak with us on Sunday evening. I believe that is set. And Wednesday, don't forget, please save the dates of March 21st through March 23rd for our 4th anniversary. The 21st will be live at GBH, 4 years of Java. On Thursday, Thursday the 21st is GBH at Java. We're usually on Wednesday. We're on Thursday in March. Friday will be the Red Cup Awards. And on Saturday, we will have a day party at Estella's. And yes, that's it. Okay. I'm getting out of here. Yes, we're doing Black Media Week next week, bringing a couple of folks, raising voices and stuff like that. Pops, thank you. Thank you. Ms. We got you. That's daytime. I need to bring you in on After Dark again. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in all week. That is it. Please make sure you share the information from last night about Eversource. Day party at Estella's. Oh, Estella's is going to be lit on the 23rd. I'm in the process now booking a couple of DJs. So it's yes. Lasagna, good to see. It got to happen in the next 2 Saturdays. Lasagna, I love you and I miss you. And I know I got to do better. A few folks are going to get me. But I'm slowing down in March to get ready for anniversary. So I got some catching up to do with quite a few people, charter members. I need to get with my family at least one day. Because I don't see them as much. My godmother told me the other day, she was like, I miss you. So yeah, Y'all pray for a brother. I'm getting off of here. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Don't forget the information from Eversource in reference to the changes that's coming. And if you did forget, listen in real quick.
To ensure a brighter future for your community, Eversource will be making key enhancements to the power grid, boosting reliability and resilience while helping meet clean energy goals. Join our info sessions, share feedback, and learn more about the project. Together, we can achieve an even greater impact. Add your voice to the conversation. Visit eversource.com/yourvoice to learn more. That's eversource.com/yourvoice.
So make sure if you want information, go to eversource.com/yourvoice or give them a phone call at 800-592-2000. William from Eversource last night shared that they have programs for those that need help with their bill. And if you want to keep up with what's going on with the upgrades and changes coming to the power grid, please go there. They're also looking for input from the community about community benefits. Eversource realizes that they're causing a disruption and they want to benefit the community in the construction, in the design of a park. Is it more trees? Is it an art space? And so lend your voice to that as well. All right, that is really it for me this time. I ain't no mogul, brother. Now I am going to eat Miss Teresa, and I got everybody. I am all caught up, and we'll see you guys on Sunday, I believe right now at 7 p.m. We'll get an update about that. And that's it. We'll talk to you soon. Peace, everybody.